We're taking you road tripping.
Let's go on a bucket list adventure to do everything you could never do.
On the road to self-discovery, meet the duo of the documentary, Duty Free. Then, first aid kits to keep your furry friends safe on the road.
It only needs a few items.
And jazz up your journey with road savvy tech.
Discover places to stop along your route.
But first, a travel expert helps you map out the perfect road trip.
Those are things that we can't necessarily plan to the letter.
That's at the top of our list right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Shaguna Duolo.
And I'm Christina Guerrero. Summer's winding down, but there is definitely time to squeeze in one more getaway. So today we are doing a special show all about road tripping.
Now, most of us are excited to move beyond our four walls, but with airline prices high and the Delta variant surging, hitting the road is the way to go.
Yes, so to kick things off, we are looking at how you can have the best road trip ever. And that's our featured story at the top of the list.
We're getting ready to go on an adventure.
The great thing about a road trip is that it is all about you. You hop in the car and you can do your thing. You can go at your own pace. You can stop when you need to.
But before you hit the highway, travel expert Onika Raymond is giving us her tips for the ultimate road trip. First and foremost, you have to research and plan.
Now, here's the thing. The bad news is that if you are a spontaneous traveler like myself, you're not going to like traveling in this season because planning is key.
But don't let that intimidate you from getting out there. It just means you need to know where to look for the right info. The CDC has a travel planner site, and AAA also has a COVID-19 travel restrictions map.
Now, for the most part, if you are a vaccinated traveler, you can pass freely between borders. However, there are still a number of closures. For example, certain parks, national parks, may have either closures or reduced hours.
And with things changing constantly, it's not a bad idea to just pick up the phone and call your destination or your hotel, because you want to make sure you get the most updated info.
What is true at the time of us speaking may not necessarily be true even 24 or 36 hours from now.
And because of that, even the best laid plans can't be perfect. So you have to be flexible.
In terms of picking a destination, one of the things that I always say is to be flexible, especially now. Depending on when you are able to travel, depending on what your interests are, and absolutely depending on where you are able to go.
All of these factors outside of your control might mean longer stretches in the car, so plan on games and distractions, or have a backup destination just in case.
So I cannot stress enough to make sure that you plan accordingly and have a plan B, C, and D so that if your first plan doesn't work out, you won't be left disappointed.
But at the end of the day, don't forget to enjoy the journey.
I'm all about getting those beautiful Instagram photos when I go, but connection and culture and community are things that I really enjoy when I hit the road. And I think that any traveler, in order to get the most out of your trip, you should be seeing or you should be trying to get a combination of the two. But to be honest with you, do you, boo?
Don't get so caught up that you forget to have fun.
It's not about the minute details of what day and time we're visiting the park. It's what we do when we get to this national park, what we see, who we meet, what we eat. And so those are things that we can't necessarily plan to the letter. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
We're getting on the road again at the top of the list.
Well, talk about an epic road trip. Duty Free is the recent documentary about a man who hit the highway with his mom to help her fulfill her bucket list. Hattie D. Jamal talked to mother and son about how their journey turned into an unexpected experience of self-discovery.
Meet New York City's Jean-Pierre Regis and Rebecca Danigelis.
Smile.
They're the mother-son duo behind the documentary Duty Free, which follows them on a years-long bucket list adventure.
All done!
It's directed by Jean-Pierre, who thought of the idea in 2016 after his mom approached him with some heartbreaking news.
I got a call from my mom a voicemail actually that said she had just been fired from her job that she had had forever as a hotel housekeeper.
I feel like I'm very dispensable. That's what I feel.
And I thought, what can I do to take my mom out of despair and misery? And decided, you know what? Let's go on a bucket list adventure to do everything you could never do while you were working.
That adventure led Rebecca on a path towards self-discovery, which began the moment she decided to choose joy.
She deserved, after so long working so hard, she deserved to feel joy.
She had made sacrifices for both her job and her family, raising her 2 sons on her own. But she ultimately decided it was time to put herself first.
I work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and never missed a day. All the people would tell me all the things they were doing on the weekend, but it never happened for me. And I thought about it, and I made the list, and lo and behold, it took off.
With list on hand, she found her next lesson in self-discovery, which was, you always have to try. Thanks to a successful Kickstarter campaign,
we raised $60,000 in a month.
They began to tackle items off the list, which had a little bit of everything.
Some of them were just like really weird and bizarre, but then some of them, they totally made sense.
Things like milking a cow, skydiving, joining Instagram.
What's the caption gonna be for today?
Cruising.
Cruising?
Even a hip-hop class, something she wanted to do to connect with her son.
She'd always seen me dancing and looking really fluid, and she always wanted to feel the beat. And so it was a way for her to get more connected to me.
With every accomplishment, they found joy and fulfillment. So from there, her last lesson was to keep the momentum going.
She's 80 and she's got more dreams. So I'm telling her, we might need to write another list. Especially post-pandemic, it's like dream about what you want to do in this life and who you want to do those things with.
For them, it was an experience that brought them even closer together.
For any man to do what he did is amazing. The fact that he's my son makes me super, super proud. It's amazing.
A mother-son's life-changing adventure.
I'm the same, I'm just stronger.
That led to a path of self-discovery.
Nothing makes a road trip more fun than bringing along a canine for company. But keep in mind that just like us, dogs can get hurt. We're making a dog first aid kit to keep that tail wagging.
Just like us humans, sometimes our dogs can get scrapes, cuts, and other injuries when they're out exploring the world with us. Clinical pet nutritionist Jonna Devereaux says this is why every dog owner needs a first aid kit for our fluffy friends.
It only needs a few items. You can go out and spend about $15 to $20 on one that's pre-made and just customize it for your dog and your activities.
We'll start with the basics: gauze, bandages, and antiseptic for common cuts and scrapes. You'll need a roll of gauze, some stick-on bandages, and most importantly, chlorhexidine as an antiseptic.
It is the only type of antiseptic you should use on dogs because hydrogen peroxide and rubbing alcohol can actually delay tissue healing.
If your mutt gets a cut, you need to inspect it.
How deep is the cut? If it is deeper than 1/4 inch, then you want to call your veterinarian and see if you should just use a saline wash and wrap it up and get them for medical attention.
Pouncing to our second spot, pet pain meds and antihistamines.
What I can tell you is that you really don't want to go use any human over-the-counter medication on your pets or with your pets unless you are under the direct supervision of a veterinarian.
Dogs can only have specific pain medicine, and your vet can supply you with enough for your first aid kit. The same goes for Benadryl, which can be used to treat bug bites, bee stings, and basic dog allergies.
Just don't chance it because you can do a lot of damage and there can be some toxicity, so play it safe, make the phone call, and ask your vet what you should be doing.
We'll wrap with specialized items, a tick removal tool, and a muzzle. If your dog does get injured on a hike or far from help, you may need to use a muzzle.
The most loving animals, when they are going into defense mode, may lash out. So a muzzle is really to protect your dog as well as protect the people that are trying to help your dog.
And skip the tweezers for tick trouble. You'll need an inexpensive removal tool
that actually slides under the tick and you twist it and it pulls everything out, the head, the pinchers, everything at once.
Most vets will provide one for free, or you can find them for less than $5 online. We're patching up our pooches with dog first aid kits.
Coming up next, from finding vegan food to camping, apps that help you on your journey.
It's actually got a trip advisor.
Then, adventure seekers share their lives 1 mile at a time.
We embarked on an epic family road trip.
And roadside attractions you need to see to believe.
We're approaching the jewel.
Road Trippin' continues next.
Welcome back to our Road Trippin' show. Now, if you and yours are planning to hit the highway, we've got 3 apps that'll help get the most out of the experience. Let's rev them up for the vacation of a lifetime.
683 million American travelers took to the road last summer. And now that COVID vaccinations are widely available, even more people are looking to hit the highway. Here are 3 apps to help turn your road trip into a dream vacation. First up, Road Trippers, a free app that'll help you chart your journey.
You can use our app to plan your trip, discover places to stop along your route, and get turn-by-turn directions when you're ready to hit the road.
Type in your starting point and your destination, and this app will pinpoint unique attractions along the way.
Next, I'm going to use the map controls to zoom into part of my trip and look for some more places I might want to stop at. The illustrations you see on the map are what we call extraordinary places. These places have been handpicked by the Road Trippers team, and we promise they're worth a detour.
The app integrates with both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can receive info from your car's navigation screen or directly from your phone. Discover and book unique outdoor stays with our next road trip app, Hip Camp. Similar to Airbnb, Hip Camp connects you to hosts that will let you stay on their land. Whether you're looking to camp, glamp, or park your RV, it can be a cheaper alternative to staying in a national or state park without having to fight for a spot.
They're gonna blow your mind. They got so many amenities like horseback riding nearby, fly fishing.
Search for specific activities offered by your host or learn about things to do nearby right in the free app. Our final road trip app, Happy Cow, for those of us who prefer to eat green. It can be stressful when you're traveling and have specific dietary needs, so Happy Cow can help you find vegan and vegetarian food options.
It's actually got a trip advisor built into the app as well, so you can actually set your location and it will find vegan restaurants, which is really helpful, especially if you don't speak the language. You don't have to be wandering around the whole city while your stomach's rumbling.
The app features restaurant reviews and menus. You can even search for vegan-friendly bed and breakfasts or connect with local like-minded people to link up within the community section. Apps to make that road trip one to remember.
Now, let's meet some people who are taking the concept of road trip to another level. They're basically living it. Jimmy Rhodes has 3 YouTubers devoted to living life in the fast lane, and they're on the buzz list. Jimmy.
Thanks. These YouTubers are rolling up the miles and the views, documenting life on the open road. Coming in at number 1, Epic Family Road Trip.
Hi, I'm Peter.
I'm Carol. I'm Caroline.
I'm Peter Jr.
I'm Dan. And we're the Van Stralens.
This family of 5 sold everything to drive around the world.
In 2015, we embarked on an epic family road trip around North America.
Since then, they've done good deeds while traveling non-stop, like helping rescue 120 pilot whales that were stranded on a remote beach in New Zealand.
Caring for others and trying to make a difference in the world is what gives our lives and our journey meaning and purpose.
And they've helped plant rice with locals in Indonesia.
The next time we ate a bowl of rice, we really understood the work and the labor that goes into producing it.
That family's racking up miles and memories. At number 2, Eamon and Beck.
And for the last 3 years, we've lived in a van to travel the world.
This couple's living the hashtag van life, showing off their 3 different tiny homes on wheels.
We did install the loudspeaker and the swivel seat because it really does open up the space.
The channel shows the realities of van life, teaching you how to build out necessities like a power source.
We've created the largest van electrical system we've ever seen.
And giving tips on things like where to park your van overnight.
Here we are, tucking in for a good night's sleep.
They make living in a van down by the river look good. And third on our list of YouTube road tripping channels, Kara and Nate.
We purchased a converted Sprinter van that will be our full-time home as we travel across the U.S.
They've gone on over-the-top adventures like spending a night in America's largest sand dunes.
This is what we heard all night instead of the complete silence.
They've also explored America's highest city.
There was a mining boom for lead, hence the name Leadville. Then once all the...
I did not even catch that.
And they even attempted to mountain bike 500 miles across Colorado. Yikes, good thing he was wearing a helmet. YouTube channels that'll rev up your wanderlust on the buzz list. Hey, lots more to come on the list, so stay with us.
We are back and still on the road. Now, any family road trip, you're likely to wind up with the gang gathered around an iPad or a laptop for a good old-fashioned movie night. We are dropping back to the 2000s and some of the best family movies of that era on the hot list. What's the biggest struggle with family movie night?
All right, everyone, let's tidy things up.
Besides getting along in the first place,
Let go of your brother.
deciding which movie to watch, of course. But today we've got you covered with 3 options that are some of the best family movies of the 2000s.
At the turn of the century, people just wanted to hang out with their families, and something that's so different about the movies in the 2000s is that Disney went crazy.
Amy Cassandra Martinez is the host of entertainment outlets like Geek Bomb and Hollywood First Look Features, and she's kicking off our list with a Disney favorite, 2007's Enchanted.
Mixing live action and animation, we've got Enchanted! Amy Adams was born to play this role. She is beautiful. Thank you. She's a real life princess, let's be real. And she's got a gorgeous voice.
How does she know?
Don't sing. It's okay. You know, let's just walk.
Her, along with Patrick Dempsey and James Marsden, really just make this storybook story come to life.
Giselle!
Moving on to another Disney classic, 2004's The Incredibles.
Showtime.
This family of superheroes has taught us no matter where you come from, you've got each other's backs.
Kids, you're all right.
Oh, you're all right.
We're so worried
I'll
about
never
you.
see you again.
This is a movie that you can watch with your family because everyone of all ages will be able to enjoy it. There's some really quotable moments like, "Where is my super suit?"
You tell me where my suit is, woman! We are talking about the greater good!
There's literally something for every single person in your family.
That was totally wicked!
Our final pick might not be from Disney, but it's an all-time favorite nonetheless. Led by Will Ferrell, it's 2003's Elf.
Your costume is pretty.
Oh, it's not a costume. I'm an elf.
Elf has got to be on there. This is great to watch not only during the holidays, but really all year round. You've got an elf.
You sit on a throne of lies.
You've got Zooey Deschanel singing. You've got the Christmas spirit and flying reindeer. I mean, what else do you need?
The best family movies from the start of the new millennium.
Wasn't this fun?
On the hot list. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to our special Road Trippin' show. And remember this, no road trip is complete without some bizarre roadside attractions. Here are some of our favorite quirky sights to see across America.
No road trip is complete without stopping to see some quirky attractions. And bonus, you can see these from the seat of your car. Let's start in Jamestown, North Dakota for a look at the world's largest buffalo.
So we're approaching the Jewel.
Built in 1959, this massive sculpture sits right next to the National Buffalo Museum.
I wonder how much restoration they do on this thing.
It's 26 feet tall, 46 feet long, and weighs 60 tons. And in 2010, it received the official name Dakota Thunder. Next, head down to the Plain States to Oklahoma and the blue whale of Catoosa.
Look at that. Just look at it.
Sitting in a pond right off the world-famous Route 66, the blue whale was a labor of love.
By a guy named Hugh Davis for his wife Zelta.
And it's a big one. It's made with almost 10 tons of stone and concrete.
But in 1972, Hugh's masterpiece was complete, just in time for his wife's 34th wedding anniversary.
And for a bit of ancient Greece, sort of, we go to Tennessee's Parthenon in Nashville.
This place is truly massive.
Built in 1897 as part of the state's Centennial Exposition, this is a full-scale replica of the Parthenon in Athens, Greece.
This is pretty epic. Just look at this detail.
It serves as Nashville's art museum, and the centerpiece to the whole thing is the 40-foot statue of Athena. Finally, head east to Margate City, New Jersey with Lucy the elephant.
This elephant was built in the 1880s, making it one of the oldest roadside attractions in existence.
Now designated as a National Historic Landmark, Lucy's 6-story tall body over the years has served as a real estate office, bar, and Airbnb.
Another one of her honors is that she is the world's largest elephant. There's actually no living elephants that are bigger than hers.
Roadside attractions from the seat of your car across America.
Such fun stops along the way. You know, some of my best memories as a kid was getting the semi-trucks to honk their horns on road trips. Remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah.
I too love a good road trip, especially when the baby sleeps most of the way.
That's the key. That wraps up our road tripping show. Thanks so much for watching.